Good evening. Welcome to JDHouse Speaks. Thank you so much to all of my followers. Tonight I'm going to do something a little different. Rather than posting an article, I'm going to speak an article. This is a reposting of a blog post that I originally posted on March 26th, and it's called 10 Ways to Shut Down a Self-Starter. We live in an interesting world. We live in a world full of followers and leaders. And depending on the situations we find ourselves in throughout our very busy days, sometimes we are the designated leader, and sometimes we are the designated follower. It's very easy for leaders to think about how they can best lead their teams and put themselves in places where they are to be well respected by the company or organization in which they lead. It's less sexy to think about how the actions of a leader can cause a reaction amongst team members and possibly even change the good intentions of a follower into a follower who just goes through the motions. It's an interesting concept. Followers are human beings, and they come to the table with personalities, ways of work, opinions, and their very own work ethic. I think we can all agree that a great leader has the ability to take all that comes with team members, their personalities, their ways of work, their opinions, and their work ethics, and to help team members see how their authentic contributions can help to lead the team forward. Indeed, leaders can help team members understand how their contributions can help to transform the world. On the other hand, there are some things that you can do to change your best team members into dead weight. What are they, you say? I'm glad you asked. Let's explore one type of team member here that everybody says they want: the self starter. How many times have you seen a position advertisement that includes the phrase, must be a self starter? Self starters, by definition, are not the types of team members who are sitting around waiting for leaders to give them a step by step roadmap of how to get a project done. Many times, these individuals can be considered entrepreneurs. They work well with little structure, and they live to find and implement solutions, create successful projects, and initiate change to maximize or bring better ways of doing things. Self starters are passionate about how they see themselves making a difference in the unit, in the company, and in the world. They are excited to work with the leader to make everyone look good. Self starters wake up in the middle of the night thinking about how they can make a project bigger, how they can make a project better, how they can make a project more this and more that. Self starters need clear parameters of what they are to accomplish. They need the support of a leader who will be available for guidance and advice. Beyond that, they need to be given the freedom to get the job done. If you or any leader inadvertently place the self starter phrase in an advertisement and you actually hired a self starter for your team, but now you have concerns that the self starter is really not what you wanted, have no fear. You can easily turn that self starter into something else. Here's how to do it. First, dismiss their creative ideas out of hand. Every time an idea about how to solve an issue is presented to you, find a reason why it can't be done. Don't take the time to listen to the facets of the idea that can easily be done. Just dismiss the entire idea. Pretty soon, you won't have to worry about those pesky ideas because the self starter will stop presenting those ideas to you. Number two, don't keep up with your industry standards and best practices. Rest assured, the self-starter will use their skills to stay on top of best practices, and they want to be on the cutting edge of using the latest data. When the self-starter presents these to you, tell them how ridiculous they sound and that you are going to keep doing things the way you have been doing them for the past 10 years. Why fix what's broken? Number 3, when a potential solution is presented to you, don't respond within a reasonable time period. Because a self-starter is always thinking about solutions, they may communicate with you outside of normal working hours. Just act like you never got the email, voicemail, or text. Number 4, present a muddled view of the project or organizational goals. Or, better yet, present no goals. Self-starters have no problem creating their own visions and goals for a project, and they will if you haven't provided a clear and concise direction. Self-starters aren't the type to ask for permission. When they go off in the wrong direction, that will give you the ammunition you need to summarily shut them down. Number 5, if you want to shut down a self-starter, micromanage them. Don't give them the information they need to create a path to success. Instead, make them report every aspect, no matter how mundane, to you about the project. Rather than trusting them to take the needed steps, with benchmarks, of course, have a daily meeting with them focused on having them report every aspect of what they're doing, down to the very last detail, so that you, the leader, can tell them what the next step should be. Number 6, provide them with routine assignments that don't require any creativity. Let them know that it is their job to follow the map that has been laid by others and that there is no expectation for them to make any new inroads. Be sure to emphasize that as long as they stay on the path most travel, they will be a successful part of your team. Number 7, if you want to shut down a self-starter, paralyze the ability of the self-starter to quickly implement solutions by making sure that every solution, even the most minute, has to go through the designated leader, which would be you. Do this by making the team member afraid to make a decision for fear that it will not be met with your approval. Make it unsafe to fail. Number 8, don't meet with them periodically to evaluate their performance. Neglect to have a performance conversation to let the team member know the good, the not so good, and what needs improvement. Do let them know that since they have conformed to the many rules of management, they are now a valued member of your team. Number 9, don't give the self-starter any hope of career advancement. Don't give them any support for professional development opportunities or have any discussions with them about how their skills could one day be used to help the organization sustain its work on a higher level. And number 10, when you see the self-starter disengage, pat yourself on the back for whipping them into shape. Do enough of these enough times, and you will be successful at either convincing your self-starter that this team is not for them or transforming them into someone who uses their self-starter skills in other endeavors, disconnected from the team and your efforts. Do these enough times, and you won't have to shut your self-starter down because they will voluntarily shut themselves down. What would you add to this list? What are some ways that you have seen self-starters transformed into other types of team members? Do you think an organization should strive to keep its self-starters engaged? Why and how? This is JDHouse, and here's to creating bottom line value in your life and your business